Happy Wednesday, guys. Today you're going to learn how to do something called embossing. If you are a fully remote student and you have an art folder, take this stuff out of your art folder. There's a piece of metal that's silver, and then there's a piece of foam that's like around the same size. If you got your art materials at school, it should look something like this. If you have this with you, I'd like you to pull the tape off of the metal. So just on the front. Take the metal off, and you can just put the tape back on this foam. So the tape can stay on this, no problem. The metal, though, we have to detach. Now you'll notice a big difference. Fully remote kids, yours is silver on both sides. Kids that came to school, one side's gold, one side's silver. This is just the materials I had, so they're a little different. But we're going to be doing the same thing to both. For the sake of this video, I'm going to be using this metal because it'll be easy to tell when I flipped it over and when I put it back. But fully remote kids just do the same exact thing that I'm doing to this one. What we're doing today is something called embossing. Embossing is the opposite of engraving. This is an engraving. It has my name on it, and it's engraved or pushed into this metal. Embossing is when you push metal up, where you can actually feel it sticking up in the air. So it's the complete opposite. This is pretty much, think of it like really, really tough tinfoil. And we only need a pencil to carve into it. Now, in terms of your pencil, it works best if your pencil is dull. You don't want a super sharp tip because the tip will break, or it might even puncture or go through this metal. Now, this foam, why is this here? We're going to be pushing the metal down, and the table cannot move. It's a completely solid rock surface underneath you. So if you try to push through the metal with this really hard surface underneath, nothing's going to happen. That's why I gave you this piece of foam. This goes underneath your project at all times, so you have something to push the metal into that's squishy and soft. Start out by putting the metal in front of you horizontal with, of course, the foam underneath. And we're going to start out by dividing it up. So first we're going to go from corner to corner. We're going to make a line. Don't worry about this being the most perfect line you've ever made. See, I didn't even hit the corner. Beh, doesn't matter. Now this, I pressed the metal down, but on the opposite side, I embossed it. See? It's sticking up on this side. So that's what the effect is. Let's divide this up into a couple different sections. So let's make an X. And obviously, you figured out by now, you can't really erase. So you got to be easy going with this. If you make a little bit of an error, be like, beep, let it go, and then just keep drawing. After we make our X, let's draw a plus sign in the middle. So a line going straight up and a line going across. Also, if your hand already hurts, you're pushing way too hard. The metal is not that thick, so you don't have to like hurt yourself pressing down. All right, let's make some textures. Now, I want this textures to stick up on this side. So what I'm going to do now is flip it over. So I'm looking at the back, the side that has these lines sticking up. And let's begin with a pretty cool pattern. How about spirals? So in one of these little pie slices, draw spirals of all different sizes. And your goal is to fill up this slice. So don't worry about them all matching. Just completely fill up the space. Now it looks pretty cool on this side, but the real effect is on the opposite side. It should all be sticking up now, and you're feeling texture. In art, there are two different types of texture. There's visual, like these polka dots on my mask. I can see them, but I can't feel them. And then there's physical texture, where I can see the texture and also feel it. Let's do a different pattern. So flip it over again, so you're looking at the side with the lines pointing up. And let's draw a shape. I'm going to pick a simple shape like a heart. You don't have to do hearts, but just, oh, actually, hold on. Let's flip it over to this side. You'll see why I did this. So right now we're looking at the side where the spirals are pointing up. Let's draw some big old hearts or any kind of shape that you would like. But draw a couple on this side. So if you have the gold paper, make sure you're on the gold side. If you're on the silver paper, make sure you're on the side with the spirals pushing up. Okay, the reason why I did this is, yeah, the hearts look cool, but let's make them stick out a bit. So let's flip it over again. So we're looking at the back. And now color the hearts in. So I actually just want you to pretend like you're coloring a picture with your pencil. And now the hearts are sticking up. They've been embossed as well. And we can add some cool patterns around them. For instance, if you flip it back over and you just press in with your pencil and make dots. Does something like this. So you have these cool little dots sticking up along with the hearts. Looks awesome. All right, let's do one more together. On this one, I want to do some waves where some of the waves are going up and some of the waves are going down. So on the front side, the side that has the spirals sticking up and the heart sticking up, I'm going to draw some wavy lines towards the middle. Okay, so there are my waves. And on the other side, I'm going to emboss some of them so they stick up. So I'm basically going to color in between some of these guys. And once again, that looks so cool, right? Almost like a mountain range on a map. All right, now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections left. You may put whatever type of textures or patterns you would like in these. I'm going to go ahead and make some of my own just to give you some examples, but I'm going to fast forward in the video. Okay, so here are some patterns I did if you need some ideas. So on this one, I made a bunch of X's. So I embossed them, so I did them on the opposite side, so they stick up. Here I did some happy faces. I did some bricks that actually do stick up inside each square. So I made a checkerboard pattern, then just colored them on the back. Here I did some zigzag lines in the front and then some zigzag lines on the back. So it kind of waves up and down. And then here I just scribbled, but it still looks really, really cool. But your job is to fill out this entire piece of metal and make sure you're embossing on both sides. So make some things stick up on this side and make some stuff stick up on this side. Once you're done, you don't really need this anymore. You can do something with it if you'd like. But I think the final thing you should do is fold down each of these corners so that you don't accidentally scratch yourself with them. I hope you guys had a lot of fun with this.